99% of golfers squat completely wrong in the downswing. So I'm going to show you at the end of the video exactly how to squat with a really good drill that will get you doing it every single time perfectly. But I'm also going to show you just before 2 reasons why golfers can't squat and how they're doing it so wrong. So let's get into the 2 ways that golfers are squatting wrong in the downswing and exactly how to fix it. So, okay, first thing that golfers are doing, they are just trying to physically lower themselves down towards the ground. They are just trying to do what it says on the tin, and that is squatting. But just lowering yourself down does nothing. Absolutely nothing, because if you squat down, now you have to do a bunch of things. You have to, 1, get straight back out of the ground again, because if you squat a lot in the downswing, which most golfers think you have to squat way more than you actually do, you have lowered the height of your swing now down into the ground. So if you don't quickly jump up, you are just going to fat the golf ball hardcore. So 1, if you actually manage to get the squat, you are going to hit the ball terribly, and that is just lowering dead straight down. Does nothing other than hitting poor shots, unless you magically time it up, and you will, but still you'll hit the ball short, you'll hit the ball wayward, because that big squat down will nullify your amount of rotation also, so you'll lose control of your body. So that's the big one. The second thing that golfers are doing where they're squatting wrong, and this is so many golfers, they will be prioritizing the squat above literally everything else. So you need to have your swing in a great spot before even trying to squat in the downswing. It's a very niche thing that not many golfers need to even try to attempt. Because, for example, if a golfer is at the top of the golf swing, let's say like this, they've just vertically lifted their arms up. Their left arm is way higher than their shoulder plane. Their hands are right on top of the body. They've got no hand and arm depth. If they try to squat from here, they're still just going to swing massively over the top. They're going to have a horrible swing. Squatting isn't going to fix them at all. That golfer will always swing over the top. Squatting won't help. That golfer would have to get themselves deeper at the top. Let's say it's a golfer with a huge open club face. Squatting is not going to do anything for that club face. You need to square that club face first, get your swing in a good spot, then turn. Steep shaft in transition. If a golfer is now going, okay, I see Rory McIlroy squatting, I have to squat. Forget about the steep shaft. I don't want to work on that. I just want to work on squatting because Rory does it. And then what they're going to do, they're not going to do anything that's going to help that steep shaft. They're just going to plummet into the ground and they're going to hit it terribly. So your swing has to be in a good place before you can squat. I say this all the time to my students on Skillist who have been working on squatting. Let's say they send a first lesson in, and that's one of the things quite often they'll type out to me is they are working on squatting in their golf swing, and they have no business, quite a lot of these players, working on squatting at that stage because their swing just technically isn't proficient enough. I'd say this is 99% of golfers who are working on squatting. Their golf swing is not good enough for it. So you have to get your swing in a decent spot. I want to see at least for players, nice square club face, nice hand and arm depth, nice shallow movement, really exhausting everything for good mechanics, and then they can work a little bit on squatting because it will help with their power. So that being so important, and then of course, knowing and learning how to squat properly helps with a good few other things, especially shallowing the golf club. So let's talk about how to squat properly. Let's assume that you've got all the things in your golf swing to squat, and let's get to a drill for it also. So guys, the off season is here, so now is the time to start working on your game in preparation for next season to be the best season ever. So if you want to make changes just like you're seeing here with my students, I want to do it over the winter period, well, you're in luck because I have just launched the Winter Improvement Plan. So what do you get with the Winter Improvement Plan? You get 4 lessons per month, and it's for all under the price of 2 single lessons. So an absolutely amazing deal. So 4 lessons per month is absolutely perfect for the amount of lessons to have optimal improvement month in, month out. So that's where we can have good interaction, have really keeping you on plan and making sure that we're giving your swing the time and attention it needs to have that massive improvement from off season to in season. So it's an absolute brilliant way to work on your golf swing to get it ready for next season, but any lesson package or subscription on my skill list is absolutely a brilliant way to work on your golf swing, and don't just take my word for it. here are the testimonials of my students and the massive improvements they've made. So if you want to ask me any questions, you can message me over on my Skillist profile and I'll absolutely answer anything you want. And I'm looking forward to working with you and improving your golf swing. So let's get to how to do it. Now, if a lot of you have watched my recent video of the real way to squat in the downswing, you will already know this information. But like I said, for a lot of you, you have got to have your swing in a good place. So what we want to do, we don't just want to go dead straight down, we want to move the pelvis back. So if you move your pelvis back, what's going to happen? You are going to be putting yourself into more flexion, which that pelvis moving back, let's say left side in the downswing, immediately moving back along with the right. You can see, looks like I've lowered down to the ground. It looks like I've just squatted down. Looks like this is just physically what I've tried to do. It's not. Quite often what you see players do, they might not be trying to do what you're seeing. So this is a perfect case of this. They're just pushing that pelvis back, really having good pelvic movement, pushes the pelvis back, flexes down the upper body, gives them that squatted look. So because they've done it via pushing the pelvis back, if they continue to push that left hip back and back and back and back and back and back, they can stay low and hit good golf shot because it's started to extend the left leg, which is getting the vertical force coming back out the ground again, which is the power part of squatting. But it's also continuing their turn. They don't have to jump up going through the golf ball. But if you're someone who squats to the extent like Rory does, pushes the pelvis back so much, lowers him so much there, you might have to extend both legs coming through the golf ball. But pushing the pelvis back is how to do it properly. There's no trying to squat, just pushing the pelvis backwards gets you in those positions, and continuing to push it back gets you in left leg extension. That gets the force out the ground, keeps you turning through the golf ball, gets you hitting the ball solidly. It's that one movement. That's all it is, just that one movement. And there's an easy drill to do for this, and that's the drill that you've all seen on the channel tons and tons of times. The camping gel, yes. The drill that keeps on giving. So a lot of you are going to be having nightmares about this drill. I talk about it so much, and it is a difficult drill to do. Easy in concept, hard in practice. So what we want to do, the easy in concept bit, is we want to push the chair back as much as we humanly possibly can. Now, one really important thing, which I guess could be part of why some golfers really struggle to squat and how they're doing it wrong, pelvis going forward in a backswing. If your pelvis goes forward, you're going to detach from that chair. We want to push the chair back with the right hip and then continue to push it back with the left. Continue all the way through the shot. So let me do that. You can see that gets you squatting, it gets you pushing back, and it gets you through that entire pelvic movement going through the shot. Let's do it. Boom, there we go. So if I could do that and do that a ton, it's one, going to help me do the squats, but it's also going to reframe the squat in your mind. It's going to make it more of a pelvic pushback, which is going to help you with one, rotating, of course. As you can see, it rotates me like anything. So good rotation, boom. But also when I'm pushing that pelvis back and I'm leaving my hands and arms where they are, you can see how the shaft starts to shallow as well. So that's one of the reasons why some golfers don't benefit from a squat, because they have a steep shaft. So going to help with that. Also, so brilliant stuff. So got to make sure, guys, you're not just lowering down for the sake of lowering down. Will only hurt you. You've got to push the pelvis back. Two, please make sure your golf swing is in a good spot before you start to try to squat, because you're wasting your time otherwise. So there, you've got a good drill to go about doing it. Reframe what squatting is, pushing back the pelvis, not lowering down, and you'll be all good to go. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.